Okay. So when you are looking at this window, you have to make sure that the system says deathstar.gtc.edu. If it says select a system, then click the drop-down box and make the change. If for any reason you do not see Death Star in the list, you click on System Configurations to set up the Death Star. So you click on System Configurations, then you hit New, and then you type in the system name deathstar.gtc.edu, and then click OK, and then hit Close. Then you will be able to find that in the list. So the bottom line is that you need to choose the name of the server to connect. So that answers your second question, that what is the name of the system? deathstar.gtc.edu. Okay, so what is the name of the IBM I operating system? It's IBM I OS. What is the name of our operating system over here? Or the name of our system over here? That is Death Star.
Oh,
I clicked 5250 emulator, but I made sure that in the system you see Death Star selected, and then you click on 5250 emulator. You enter your username and password, and then it shows you the green screen. And once it shows you the green screen, then you log in again. Okay. Somebody else join us, Alex. Right? Alex join us.
oh, error.
You got an error. Help me take care of that. Oh, your username has been disabled because you have tried too many times with an invalid username password. Okay. Now we will solve your problem in 2 minutes. Let me first get to this screen. When I first type in my username and password and I get a successful login, I get this screen. What do you call the screen? The answer is in the book in chapter number 1, though. Let me direct you to the page. On page number 7. On page number 7. We have user profile as the topic, right? What is the third bullet point? Page number 7. Initial program. Under user profile, the third item reads initial program. That is the program that automatically runs when you first sign on. Okay, this is the program which will tell you you have made X number of incorrect entries. When it hits the mark of 3, your account gets disabled. Okay, now in chapter, okay, now when I press enter, what is this thing where I land? Very good. What is the name of this menu? Main menu. How did you know about that? This is all chapter 1, by the way. Okay, this is main menu. So let's get to page 11 in your books. Page number 11. Zoom guys, you're with me, right? Cool. Okay. So on the main menu, and page number 11, under menu screens, what is the first bullet point? Page 11, menu screen. What's the first bullet point?
Screen headed.
Which area is called the screen header? The top area. Okay. And where you see the word main, IBM I main menu, Death Star, all of this is called the header. Okay. Jasmine, you okay? Okay. Now, what is this middle part called? It tells you on page number 11. Under the first bullet point as a subheader, as a sub bullet point. Menu description. And what is this word main? It's the first bullet point under screen header. ID. Okay, so ID, description, and what is this? The system name. Okay. Now, when you type the system name, you type deathstar.gtc.edu, correct? Why is it shortened? Okay, simplicity. Or what is the maximum length of an object name? Ten. Probably this has been shortened, even though it's not 10 yet, it's been shortened to 8. Okay. Now, what is this bottom portion called? The bottom portion where you see different text color. It's right on page 11.
Yeah.
Right on page 11, the very last bullet point. What does it say? Function keys. Is that what you were saying before? Okay. Okay. Function keys. Function keys are only 12 on your keyboard. So how do you get to the function key F24 or F23 or F13? How do you get to those when you only have 12 function keys? You use shift. Very good. Okay. So if I want F13, it'll be shift F1. If I want F24, it'll be shift F12. What will I press for F18? F6, because 12 plus 6 is 18, right? Okay. Now you can't even say it's too early in the morning for math. Okay, so function keys are mapped according to FCIDIC because that's the IBM's keyboard standard. What standard do we use here on these keyboards? That's the ASCII standard. ASCII standard has only 12 function keys. FCIDIC standard has 24 function keys. So that's how we map the 24 function keys. Okay. Okay, so now this is a main menu. It's an example of what kind of screen type? Menu screen. Okay, menu screen has 4 components: header, list of items, a command or selection, and function keys. How many main bullet points are there on page 11 under menu screen? 4. And those 4 talk about these 4 regions. Is everybody clear on it?
Yeah.
Clear as mud or no? I mean, like, it's clear. It's asking. Okay. So if I type here a command, okay, is this a menu? No. How do you know? Very good. Okay, it looks like a menu, but it is not. It neither has a system name nor has a menu ID. Okay, so most probably it is some software or program installed on the operating system, which is commonly called utility. Utility. Okay. How do I come out of here? F3. Okay. By the way, that's the only keyboard key that's a liar. Never escapes. Always stays there. Okay. So now that I'm back on the main menu, how do I sign off? I type in 90 and I sign off. Okay. Next thing, if I want to type a command, let's say CRT LIB. Now this is chapter 2 I'm going into, right? Okay. CRT, what's that short for? Create. Create, okay? In English language, what do you categorize it as? A noun or a verb? Create. Verb. Everybody over here understand what's a verb, right? What is it? It's an action. What's a noun? A thing, right? Somebody asked me the other day, I forgot what's a noun. Can you tell me again? I'm like, this is college class, not, elementary school. But anyway, so in these two words, which is noun? Which one of the two is a noun? LIB, which is library. Okay, so create library. What is this? Create library. It is a command. What is it? Command. Okay, the commands are written to communicate with the operating system. What is the name of the language in which these commands are written? CL. What does CL stands for? Control language. Okay. Now, commands are followed by what? Chapter 2. Commands are followed by. Commands are followed by. Page number 44. Command name. Space. Parameter. Very good. Okay. So parameter is the extra information that you're feeding into the command. Do all commands have parameters? No, not all of them have, but most of them do. Okay. Parameters are divided into how many categories? 2. Required and optional. Create library is a command which requires parameters. I don't know what they are. So what should I do? No. I should ask help from the system to give me the list of the parameters so I can fill them up, because I do not know their sequence. I do not know how many of them are required. So how do I ask the system to assist me with completing the command? There's a function key at the bottom. Which function key do I press? F13 will take me to the information assistant where I would have to dig for the answer. I want system to help me out and take me somewhere where I can just fill in the blank and the command will be done. I don't want to know all the parameter names. I don't want to know what are required, what are optional. Which function key do I press out of the ones listed down below? Now, of course, 3 are out the window. F13 is already out the window. F3 is already out the window. And so is F12, right? So we have only 3 choices left. F23, do you think F23 is the answer? No. F9, what's F9 used for? going through the history of commands that you have already typed. That's what F9 is used for. So if you've typed a command, you do not have to retype it in that session. Just press F9 and the same command will appear that you just typed. And you can keep pressing it to go through your history items. So which is left? F4. Anytime you need to know the detailed parameter list of any command, you type the command and press F4. Okay. Now, when you press F4, you see a screen. What do you call the screen? This is one of the screen types from chapter 1. Let's go back to chapter 1, right? Page number 15. Page 15 in the book. Prompt screen. Okay. You can see on page 15, there are 2 diagrams. Oscar in the book. You cannot close the book in my class. You have to have it open. Go to page 15. We will be constantly going back and forth in the book because that is your help outside of the class. You need to know where things are, right? So look at the first picture on page 15. That looks very similar to this guy over here. And page number 15 towards the bottom, you see the parameters and the additional parameters. The additional parameters are the optional ones. Okay. Okay. You okay? You have any questions? You're fine? Okay, you're not participating, so I was wondering if you had a question. You have a book? Oh, okay. So you don't have access to that digital copy here. Okay. So now I'm on the screen. What is the purpose of the asterisk? As soon as I see a word with an asterisk, what does that mean? Page number 5. Page 5. Anything that starts with an asterisk is a system value. That means the word has special meaning in the language. That's what it means. So the blank without an asterisk is meaningless. With an asterisk, it means that I want to leave this blank. Libraries can only be of 2 types, production and test. The default is production. Those 2 items are already filled for me. The only item I need to fill is this guy, okay? So let's say if I want to create a library and I want to name my library, I can name it. I can give it a number, okay? Is it case sensitive? The names, the commands? No, no. Nothing is case sensitive in terms of commands and their names. Okay? So let me get out of here, F3. Now, how many types of screens have we seen so far? 2. Menu and prompt. Okay. If I press F9, will anything happen? No, because I typed the command, but I never completed it. So it doesn't record it. Okay. Now let me type the command again, CRTLIB. What do I press after that? After I type CRTLIB, what do I press after that?
F4.
F4. Now I'm stuck here and I don't know the details about library, what exactly it is asking me. So how can I seek help? How can I ask for help? Help. is always F1. Okay, so let me press F1. This is the first level of help. F1. In your books, page number 18. Page number 18. What will be the next step if I want to learn more about this command? What should I do? I want to learn more. I want to get extra help. F2, which is called extended help, which is page number 19 in the book. Okay. It says more. What does that mean, more? What does more means? Yeah, how do I get to that? How do I go down? You can use the arrow keys. For us, it's page down, maybe because you have the keyboard mapped differently because of the laptop. So page down key is allowing me to go down. If I press F3, what will happen? Exit what? Help screen. Which help screen? F2 or F1 or both? F2. Let's try. It helps me exit both. F3 means close the entire help. Let's go there again. F1, F2. What will happen if I press F12? Yeah, I will only close F2 and I'll stay in F1. Okay, so here you can see the difference between F3 and F12. Okay, so now F3 will help me come out of it. How many screens have we seen this far? 3. Menu. Help. Good. Okay. Now, I am back here in my main menu. Let's say, how do I display libraries? You guys learned about that command in chapter 2, right? I'm pretty sure that was on page 40, 48, 49 or something. Probably not. Okay, anyway. It is DSP, or maybe it was in chapter number 1. Let's see. No, chapter 1 also doesn't have it. Anyway, so the command is DSP for display, LIB for library, and L for list. Display library list. Okay. And I hit enter. Now, is this a menu? No. Prompt? No. Help? No. What is it? List. Very good. That's page 22. Page 22, 23 talks about list or work with screen. So how many screens do we have here in the IBM iOS? 4. Menu, help, prompt, list. That's all chapter 1 talks about. Okay. Now there are a few other concepts in chapter 1 that I want to talk about next. Is everybody okay with the 4 screen types we talked about? Okay. It is not the first time you're seeing them, right? But it appears as if you're seeing them for the first time. Okay. So it's very important for you to read outside of the class. I want you to read something now. Go to page 24. And right above the in summary on page 24, I want you to read the 4 bullet points. Yep, those 4. Yep. Just read it yourself, right? Zoom guys, you doing okay here? You guys following along okay? How about Mr. Martinez? Martinez is okay too. And Jonathan Chase, you doing okay? Okay. Now, is IBM operating system a multi-user multitasking? Or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay. Where do we learn about that? On page number 2, chapter number 1, page number 2. IBM is a multi-user multitasking operating system. Anything and everything that you submit to this operating system, what do you call that? On page 2. Anything that you submit to the operating system, page 2. Oscar, page 2. It's a job. Okay, it's a unit of work submitted to the operating system to work on. Okay, jobs are of how many types? Page 3. It's an interesting word, page 3, right? 2 types. What are they? Very good. What is the difference? So interactive, you have to be present when the job runs. Batch, you can submit a job and you can go your way. The job will run on its time. Okay. When the job is submitted to the system, where does the job go? Where does the job go when it gets submitted?
Job queue.
Very good. Okay. And this job queue is part of page 3 has the answer. Job queue is part of
Subsystem.
subsystem. Okay. So subsystem is an environment in which the jobs run. So if you submit a job, it's submitted to a queue, an environment gets created, the job completes its whatever it's supposed to do, and then that's it. End of story. Okay. So subsystem is more like a virtual idea. Things get created on the fly, like a staging area where jobs can be processed. And there's a queue where things stand in line as they come in on priority basis or their sequence basis. They get served, and that's it. You're done. Okay. Now, something like this could be seen at restaurants where there are multiple registers open, and each register is taking order, and then there is a queue where orders are getting fulfilled behind the scene. As the order gets completion, then the order is out the window. And the completion involves from placing an order to making a payment to delivering the asked good, right? All of this is part of it. So that's all your environment. Okay, let's move on. Page number 6. What is a licensed program? Okay, so the program that you probably pay for and it gets installed and has some licensing agreements along with it. There are different kinds of license programs: application development tools, communication support, programming languages, and web products. Thousands of programs can be installed on the operating system. Okay. Now coming to page number 11. Your user interface in this operating system is menu driven. So if I would like to go to a menu, let's say I pick option number 5 from the main menu. So I am one step down. What is the name of this menu? What is the name of this menu that I am on right now? The name of the menu. Where do you look for the menu names or the menu IDs? In the top left corner. What does it reads? Program. Okay. So if somebody wants to know the name of the menu, they look in top left. Okay. Is this a menu? What is the name of the menu? How do I get out of this menu? Where does it take me when I press F3? One step back to the main menu. Okay, cool. Okay. Now I am somewhere else in the process. I didn't tell you where I am. But if I press F3, it will not going to take me back to the main menu because I was 2 steps away from main menu. So each F3 only takes me 1 step back. Okay, and that's what page 11 shows you. Main menu has data, data have library, library has whatever, and then each F3 will take you 1 step back. Now, when I press F3, I'm back to the main menu. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So to wrap up, IBM I operating system is the name of the operating system. V2 Cloud is the environment through which you access the operating system. The name of the server is Death Star. The Death Star server is IBM iOS operating system, and it is housed on a physical machine. What do you call the physical machine? The physical machine is not IBM iOS. The physical machine is IBM Power System. Okay, The name of the physical machine is IBM Power System. The name of the operating system is IBM iOS. Okay, it's pretty much like saying I have Windows 11 on a Dell machine, right? So it's like the name of the machine and the name of the operating system are different. Not exactly the same idea here. Power system is the actual name of the hardware components. Why do they have that distinction? Because you can run multiple operating systems simultaneously on the same machine. Okay, so IBM iOS is one of the 3 operating systems. What are the other 2? One of the other 2 is AIX, and the third one is Linux. These 3 operating systems can run simultaneously on the same hardware machine. Okay, how many menu types, or how many screen types, sorry? 4, which are menu, list, prompt, and help. Okay, now help, how do you bring help? F1. How do you bring extended help? How do you go to the information center? Information assistant, F13. How do you press F13? Shift F1, okay? Why doesn't anybody help a computer programmer drowning? Okay, because he's constantly saying F1, right? Nobody knows what that means but us. Anyway, so now when you get to this screen, for example, all of you, each and every one of you, can you please sign on if you're not already signed in to the V2 Cloud environment? If you're not already signed in. And then go to the ACS, open the green screen, and for Zoom, guys, if you could give me green check when you're ready. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Now, in the meanwhile, I'll show everybody how this looks like. So we have a command called work user profile. What are your 3 digits ITPA? ITPA, what are your numbers?
617.
617, correct? Okay. Is this you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, which option should I choose? This is, remember, what screen is this? No, what screen is this? Is it a menu? Is it a help? Is it a prompt? Is it a list? It's a list. Okay. Why? Because I have a list of items and I have options to choose from. It's not a menu. It doesn't have a menu ID. It doesn't have any numbers. It's not a prompt because prompt usually have fill in the blanks. Okay. So now, which option should I choose to make changes to your account? You can look at the screen closer to you. Which option should I choose to make a change to your account? The options are out there in the blue. Which of these options? 2. Okay. See, it says what? Disabled, right? Okay. Now, does it have an asterisk next to disabled? That means it is what? Disabled is a system value. System value, okay? What other value can I put in there? What are other possibilities? What do you want me to put there? Enabled, right? Okay. Enabled. And then I pressed enter. It ran the command for me and said the following profile has been changed. Okay, now go ahead and try to enter again. And in the meanwhile, I'll show everybody something else. Notice nobody can see your password. It just says same. That's all it says. Nobody can retrieve it. Even you can't retrieve it. I can't retrieve it. All I can do is change it. Yes. Okay, do you know your ID? Okay, so if I press F9, will this give me the last command that I typed? right? Because I successfully typed it, so it gives me that back. Okay, what are your 3 digits? 6627. Okay. Wow, you guys are like 10 numbers apart. Okay, cool. Is this you? Right? Okay. Now, which option should I pick? 2. Your account is enabled, but you forgot your password. So I will give you new pass as your starting password. Go ahead, log in with new pass. Yeah. Oh, just type it doesn't echo back. Just gives you a moving cursor. That's all it does. Okay. So when you're entering password, it just shows the cursor moving. It doesn't echoes it back.
Oh, okay, that's why I checked.
That's okay. You're expecting it to echo it back, right? Yeah. No, it doesn't. That's a security measure. Okay, so Zoom folks. So we got a check from Alex. Alex is in. Martinez is in. Diego Martinez is in. How about Miguel? You're in, Miguel? Okay. Mason, Stilk. Mason, oh, you forgot that. Okay, let's see. Now that's a difficult one. Let's try to look you up. Okay. Okay. Mason style. Okay, Mason, you are ITPA 631. Mason style. ITPA 631. Did you make a note of that? Okay, cool. How about Jonathan Chase? Jonathan, did you get in? Awesome, cool. So Mason style, let me know when you're in. Oscar, good. Jasmine, good. Good. You know, both of you are good. How about you're good? Good. Okay, cool. Let's wait for Mason style to get in. So the only folks I'm missing are Arale. And she was here last week. Or Arale was here last week. Ganbold was here last week. Okay. Not here right now. Chase Hayes was not here last week either. Okay. And Jonathan Crows was not here last week. Oh, was here last week. And Gabrielle was also here last week, but not here today. And Arlene Velez was we're okay. Mason, okay, Arlene was also not here last week. Okay. Wow. Okay, Mason, let's see. Mason, let me change your password to new pass for now. Okay. And then try logging in with that new pass in all lowercase. And let me know when you're in. Let me ask you guys in the meanwhile some questions from chapter 2. Which command is only 2 letters long? It's a verb, but no subject. There's only one command. 2 letters long, verb, no subject. It's on page 46. Okay, page 46, go command, right at the top of page 46. Okay, what is the other command on the same page, which is verb, no subject, call? When do you use go command? When you want to display a menu. If you know the menu ID, you can type go space menu ID, it will open the menu for you. When you call command, yeah, when you want to run a program, for example, if you want to run an RPG program, a CL program, any kind of program, if you want to run, you push call command. These are the only 2 exceptions. Other than these 2 guys, all commands are a combination of a verb and noun, which is called what? What is noun called in this environment? Let's see. Page number 44. Right at the bottom, it calls it noun. Right on the very last line, it calls it a noun. However, it is also called subject. Subject. Okay. So you have verb part and a noun part, which is also called a subject. And sometimes noun has some additional information with it, which is on page 45. A third segment, it is in the 3rd line on page 45, right from the top, 3rd line. It is an adjective modifier. Okay. Now on page 45, you see some examples in the table 2.1. In this example, in this table 2.1, can you find me an example of a command with only verb? Only verb. Call. Right at the top, the very first one, call. Page 45. Can you find me an example with verb and noun? No modifier, just verb and noun. Okay, copy file. 3rd one from the top. What did you learn about copy file versus display message? What's the difference between the 2 commands in terms of syntax? Copy file versus display message. We learn that the noun has to be 3 letters long. Okay, noun can be 1 letter long, noun can be 2 letters long, or noun can be 3 letters long, but does it has to be 3? Verb, on the other hand, has to be 3 letters long, with the exception of go and call. Okay, now can you find me a command on the same page with noun and a modifier, with a verb? Verb, noun, and a modifier. Okay, now there's so many of them, right? Starting from the top, clear, out queue, create RPG program, delete user profile, edit, object, authority, right? There's a whole list of them. It has 3 parts. First three letters is a verb. Next three letters is a noun. The last set could be 1 or 2 or 3 letters is a modifier. Look at the very last line. WRK work, SYS system, SDS status. Mason, were you able to get in this time? Okay, let's see. Mason, let me stop sharing. Can you share your screen with me? Okay, that'll be nice. So I stopped sharing and you can share your screen. Do you know how to share screen? Oh, okay, cool. It's loading right now. Just 1 minute. Let me push some of the other windows away. Okay. Okay. Mason. No. I knew that you probably might be making this mistake. This is where you enter your gateway username and password, the one that you use to log into Blackboard. That's what you enter here. And yeah. Yep. Your email and password for gateway, whatever you use for Blackboard, whatever you use for your email, exactly the same username and password is what you enter here. Try again. Okay. When you guys sign into B2 Cloud, do you use your entire email with @mail.gtc.edu? Is that what you do? Or you just enter your ID? Just your ID. Try entering your ID.
Yeah, just the ID.
Okay. And then enter the same password as you enter for Blackboard. Okay, looks like, look, okay, maybe something. Did you make sure your caps lock is not on? Yeah, I mean, if you have just logged into Blackboard, if you have logged into Blackboard, then you should be able to. It's just the same username and password. Yeah, if you have come this far, I mean, like if you would have entered one login. Yeah, that is the username 1360975. Oops. Okay, I think it's logging you in. So once you log in there, then you click on ACS Solutions. Let me share my screen now. Then you would click the ACS Solutions. And let me know if you need help further as to how to connect to 5250. In the meanwhile, I'll ask some more questions. What is the difference between key notations, keyword notations, and positional notation? Chapter 2. Keyword notation versus positional notation. What's the difference? What is the difference between keyword notation and positional notation? Devin, are you in this class? Devin Gygax?
Isn't this the time for our class?
This is IBM Enterprise Systems Concepts class.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. I forgot what time does our class start again?
The IT
Is
and
it-
business starts at 5:30.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I'm wrong. Way off. Okay. See you later.
See you later. Okay. So keyword notation, page number 48, shows you that every parameter that you enter with the command must be preceded by the name of the parameter. For example, if I'm creating a library, let me increase the screen size here so that you guys can see. Okay. Create library, CRTLIB, followed by, I type LIB, and in the parentheses, I enter the name of my library. That is called keyword notation. So I write the keyword, then I write the value. Then I write the keyword, and then I write the value. Okay, try that. Instead of Saad 1000, you guys go ahead and try with your first name. So create library, LIB in parentheses, your first name 1000. Make sure that it doesn't go past 10 characters. Somebody getting chimes? It's because you might have pressed a key that it took the keyboard control away from you. So press the control key on the keyboard to get the control back. Okay, Mason, how you doing? Are you in? Oh. Okay, cool. Yes, to answer Alex's question, yes, Alex, go ahead and type asterisk prod, not prod asterisk, okay? And when you're done typing the command, you-
You said, how do I-
oh, press the control keyboard. Oh, you got it. Okay. Okay, so now you guys press enter after that. And then when you press enter, does it tell you at the bottom that your library was created? Okay, so that's how the system. Oh, no. It's don't say IT here. Your first name, 1000. Turn on the insert, so that it doesn't overwrite. Now type it, your first name and 1000. Turn off the insert. Okay, everybody got it on the Zoom? Give me a green check. Once you're able to hit enter on this command, just make sure you're using your first name 1000. Okay. Mason and Jonathan. Okay, Mason. Let's see. Mason, let me know when you got it. Mason, stop. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody in class good? Okay. Now, once we are done creating the library, and if I press F9, go ahead and press F9. And you should see the command that you already typed, right? Now use the arrow keys to go to the very last zero. You have 1, 0, 0, 0. Put your insertion point under the last zero and put 1. So it makes 1001.
Yes.
Okay, and press enter. And then you will create your second library. So you now have 2 libraries. Okay. Both of the examples are examples of creating a library with keyword notation because you wrote the keyword outside and then in the parentheses, you write the value. You wrote the value, okay? Now let's try the positional notation. Type the same command, create library. Your first name, 1002. Notice that I did not use any keyword around because now I remember that this is a sequence in which I must enter space, prod, space, asterisk, prod. So I know the sequence, press enter. Did that create 1002 for you? Okay, so this is called positional notation. In keyword notation and positional notation, that is the main difference. Okay, now let's press F9 2 times. Okay, now change the order. So delete the library part and let's move the library part on the other side. Like that. Oops. Your first name, 1005. You change the sequence. I'm putting my type first and my library name after. And hit enter. Did that create the library when you change the sequence around? It didn't work for you? Should. Oh, no, use the keyword notations. Use the keywords, type, parentheses. Yeah. So if you use the keyword notation, it doesn't matter in what sequence you type the keywords, it will always work. Okay, work this time, Jasmine? Okay. Now let me drop the keyword. Let me keep the same sequence. And let me go 1006, okay? So I drop the keywords. Now when I press enter, it will not work because it is under the impression that asterisk prod is the name of the library and you cannot have a library name starting with an asterisk. So it right away yells back and says, what you provided is not valid. Okay, so in keyword notation, the advantage is the sequence doesn't matter. In positional notation, the sequence matters. Okay. Usually programmers would have to worry about this, but if you're doing a single command, the best way to do is type the command and press which function key? F4. F4, and then fill in the blanks. Go ahead. Type CRTLIB, press F4, fill in the blank, the first one only, leave all the others exactly like that and press enter. And there you are. Okay, it runs the command, does everything for you. So when you do not know the parameter sequence, the best way to go will be type the command and press F4. Exactly. So page number 452 talks about positional notations. Page number 47 talks about keyword notation. Just so that you know where they are in the book. Okay. Page number 54 talks about menus of commands. If you do not know a command, you type go space major. Go space major and hit enter. And it takes you to a menu. The name of the menu is major. That's why I type go space major, because go is the command to bring up the menus, right? The name of the menu is major. These are different menus that you can go to. Okay, now is the word create a verb? Okay, if I want to see the verb create commands, which option should I pick? Number 2, and hit enter. Okay, let's push 2 and enter. Okay, now do you see create here anywhere in this list? Create? No, page down. Go to the next page. Do you see create now? Right? What option? 18. So if I put 18 and hit enter, I'm looking at all the create commands. So this is how you can go about navigating to a verb, and then you can see all the commands that start with that verb. Now these are all the subjects, you know, creating an alert, creating an authority, creating a program, whatever. All the subjects are now defined by that verb create. What will happen if I press F3? Main menu. It closes all menus and takes you back to the main menu. Let's do that. F3, and we are back at the main menu. How can I go back to where I was before? I want to go to the major. major menu. I want to type the command. What will be my command? I want to go to a menu whose name is major. Go major. Go major, right? How can you remember this? Just go Packers go, right? Same stuff. Just like you only write go once. Go major. Okay. On the right-hand side, all of these are the names of the menus. What is the third name from the top? Subject. Subject. What's the second name from the top? Verb, right? Okay. Let's F3 out of here. F3, back to the main menu. Now type go space subject. Go space subject and hit enter. Type go space subject. Are you following me okay here? Go space subject. Hit enter. So now you're looking at all the subject commands. What is common in all these command names? What's common? CMD, okay? And all of these are subject commands. Let's F3 out of here. Remember the CMD part, okay? Now let's type go verb. Go verb. Okay. What is common in all of these names? CMD. So what does that mean? That means all the menus for commands, doesn't matter they're subject commands or verb commands, the first three letters are CMD. Okay, now let's F3. Now I'm telling you some shortcuts here. What is short for create? CRT, okay? So if I want to see all the create commands, what are the first three letters? CMD. The next three letters? CRT. How do you go to a menu? What command? Go. Go space CMD CRT. Hit enter. You get what I'm trying to tell you here? Okay, so CMD is the beginning, followed by whatever. Okay, now type go CMD, go space CMD, and after CMD type user. Enter. What does it tell you? There is nobody. If you type a wrong menu, it will yell back and tell you at the bottom. Okay, what's short for user? Drop the E. Drop the E and try again. Go CMD USR. Okay, so you are now seeing all the user commands. Is user a verb or a subject? Subject here. Okay, so now you have learned how you can go to a menu if you know the noun or a subject or a verb. All you need to do is type go space CMD and the short version of that name. And that's how you can get to a menu. Once I'm there, I can now get to see the commands. Okay, now let's F3 out of here. I want to see all the library commands. So go space CMD, what's short for library? LIB. Go space CMD LIB. Here I see all the library commands. Okay, now which command will let me create a library? Option number 6. What command do you see next to option 6 in the right hand side? CRT LIB, right? Option 6, look in the right hand side. CRT LIB. So since we already know the command, but I purposely took you through the command that you already know, just so that you can see how you can learn about new commands. So this is the menu that will show you the new commands. Okay, once you know the command, you can type over here option number 6, for example, and enter, and it'll take you where you were before. Okay, now let me F3 out of here. Zoom guys, doing okay? Following along okay? Okay. Because go is the command to open a menu, Alex. If you do not type the go, it wouldn't know what the rest of the stuff is. So go followed by the parameter, which is the menu name. We'll open the menu for you. Okay, let's F3 to come back to the main menu. Let's take a break till 3:40. And then we will resume at 3:40. Let me pause it in the recording. And we are still in the process of revising the first two chapters. Okay, so the idea is, I know this is new stuff for you guys. And the reason I'm doing that so that you guys can get more and more familiar with it. And the more you get familiar with it, the more comfortable you get with it. I don't know if anyone of you is thinking that we are going too slow. But the reason I'm going a little bit slower is so that, you know, you guys all can feel a little bit comfortable about it. Yeah, Jonathan, yeah, you can watch the recorded video. Yeah. I will be posting it over here once it's done. Rendering after the class. Okay. So in chapter 2, we are now on page number 60. Library list. To display the library, does anybody remember what command I shared with you to display your library list?
Go.
It's not a menu. It's not a menu. Display your library list. It is, okay, let's see. Let's try to search for the command. How about that? Okay. You know that it's about a library, right? So I can do go cmd lib. Go cmd lib. Okay. So which command to display the library? Number 8, which is dsplib. Okay, number 8, and I hit enter. It asks me right away, do you want to see your own library? I said, yeah, I want to see my library list. And I hit enter. And I see my library list. Is everybody here? Okay. Now, in the list of the library, you can see the type. And that's what we are referring to on page 60, type. In the system library type, currently I have 5 libraries that are considered to be system libraries, okay? In your book on page 60, how many system libraries can you have? 15, up to 15 libraries, okay? Up to 15, okay. How many production libraries can you have? 0, 1, or 2, okay? Is there any production library here? No, you will not be able to see it because I do not have any program running. If I have an RPG program running, the production library will come into existence. The program will run. At the end of the process, the library will be destroyed. Okay. How many current libraries?
1.
1 and only 1. Do you have 1 right now? Right. That is named after your ID. Your ID is your current library. Okay. How many user libraries I can have? Up to 250. How many I have right now is 1. Only 1 user library, USR. You have 2, okay. You have QTemp or something? Yeah, okay. You have two system libraries. I have 1 system library. Okay. So the libraries that we created together before the break, they're not there, right? What does that mean? That if you create a library, it doesn't automatically becomes part of your library list. We will learn today how you can make a library part of your library list. Okay, so page number 60 talks about that. What are system libraries for? The system libraries are for the operating system. Turn to page 62. Look at the 4 bullet points on page 62 at the bottom. Okay, I want you to read the 4 bullet points. QSys, QSys2, QHelpSys, and QUserSys. And those are the 4 libraries that you also have. Okay, then your book talks about the production library. Then on page 63 talks about current library and user library list. We talked about both of those items. Now, objects within libraries, the last topic on page 63. You should now understand the following points about the relationship among objects, libraries, and library lists. Now turn to page 64 and read these 7 bullet points, A through F. Page 64. Any questions about chapter 2? Anybody on the Zoom or in class? All set? Okay. Let me ask you one question before we move on to chapter number 3. How do you define an object? What is your definition of an object as far as IBM iOS is concerned? If you don't know yet, look at the very first page of chapter 3, page number 81. Page number 81. Look at, under overview, read the first paragraph. First paragraph on page number 81. And Miguel, you got it. That's the correct answer. Anything that takes up space, and there's one more thing to that answer, Miguel. Something that has a name. Name and takes up space, okay? Objects are internal structures on which the instruction sets of the operating system operate. So the entire operating system is object-based. Everything is an object. Anything that you want to interact with is an object. Okay. Are commands objects? Yes. Are libraries objects? Yes. Are programs objects? Yes. Okay. Are parameters objects? No. Because they're part of the program commands, right? They're part of the commands. They're not on their own. Are system values objects? No, they're part of a parameter. They're not a whole. You cannot directly access them. So anything that you can directly interact with is your exactly. Okay. Now, having said that, page number 82 and slide number 5. Every object is encapsulated in this state. An outer layer or interface identifies the object and specify the operations that can be performed on the object. For example, if an object is account customer and you put call account customer, will that command work or not? We don't know. Until and unless the object type is a program, the command will work. Because call is a special command only meant for programs. If the object type is something else, the command will fail. So some of the information about the object is hidden, encapsulated. You don't know about it, okay? That's what page number 82 talks about. That not all commands will work on all objects. So for example, if the object is program, the run command will work, the create command will work, the backup command will work, but delete won't, insert won't, update won't, because they are related to data, not related to program. How do you determine what is the object type? You don't. Operating system does. As soon as you create an object, based on the object details, it figures out what is the type of the object. You cannot even change it. Okay, so object type is something that you have no control over. Now, let me take you to page number 85, which is this table, page 85. Okay. So objects have types like program, like menu. And then within those types, you have attributes which are called subtypes. For example, if I'm creating something of physical file type, it automatically will be categorized as a file object. If I'm creating an RPG program, it will automatically be categorized as PGM type. It's an automatic. Nobody has control over it but operating system. Nobody can change it. Even operating system cannot change it. It's predefined. Okay? Everybody with me on this one? Okay. Now, let's go back to slide number 7, page number 82. Now, this is very important. Slide number 7, page number 82. These are the different layers of the operating system. This is why the IBM operating system architecture is called layered architecture. What is it called? Layered architecture. Okay. Where is the operating system? On page 82, which layer is the operating system? Exactly. Where is the hardware? Last layer. What does that tell you? Operating system has no direct contact with the hardware. Okay. The hardware runs independent of the operating system. Why? As I told you before the break, that you can run more than one operating systems on this hardware simultaneously. So if we give direct access to the hardware, then the other operating system won't be able to use it. So we created a separate layer called Power Hypervisor. The Power Hypervisor layer makes it transparent for all the operating systems to use the underlying hardware through a hypervisor layer, not directly. Okay, do you follow? Everybody follow them that far? Okay. How many operating systems? How many different types of operating systems? 3. What are they? IBM iOS, Linux, and AIX. Okay. All the names are on the very first line of page number 84. Page number 84, look at the top line. IBM iOS, AIX, and Linux, right? All 3 of them. Okay, now let's go back to page number 82 and on slide number 7. The middle 2 layers, TIMI and SLIC. Both of these layers are special layers only for IBM iOS. AIX and Linux, they don't understand those layers. Okay, what is the whole job of those layers? The TIMI layer is responsible for hearing things from IBM operating system and transferring that information to the SLIC layer, which is system license internal code. It has several internal codes. Those internal codes are capable of taking the information down to the hardware. So those codes will run the programs, and those programs can talk to the hardware, but operating system can't. Okay, now there's some reading for you guys to do here. I want you to read pages 82 through 84. Read pages 82 through 84, and if you do not have your book, then slides 7 through 12. Slides 7 through 12 if you do not have the book, otherwise pages 82 through 84. I'll get to set aside a few minutes for you guys to do that. Let's get to our next topic here, page number 87 and slide number 18. Qualified name. A qualified name is when you are searching for an object and you also provide the name of the library with it. For example, if you say, I want to call the program, and the program is ACTCUS, and it is located in library TSTLIB1. Now that you have provided the library name with the object name, it is called qualified name search. Otherwise, it's called the unqualified name search. When you do an unqualified name search, you may see something like this happening. Okay, let me increase the font size. Let me increase the size of this diagram so that you can see it better. Okay, notice when I do an unqualified name search means I ask for to call a program ACTCUS. So we'll start from the system libraries. And let's see if there is anybody called ACTCUS in the system libraries. If not, it then goes to the current library. In the current library, is there somebody called ACTCUS? Yes, but the file is the object type. In order for the call to run, the object type has to be programmed. So that's ignored. Then it goes to the user libraries. In the user libraries under the rlib, it finds ACTCUS whose type is program, runs it. Now comes the question, will it also run the ACTCUS in the test library 1? No, because the first match is the one that it runs. If you want a particular match to run, then you must go the qualified name route. Okay, so that's what page number 87 and 88 talks about. Look at page number 88 towards the bottom. It talks about this command. Now, this is a misspell in the PowerPoint. It should be DSPLIBL. That's the command on page number 88 to display your library list. Go ahead and type that command on the green screen, display library list. That command. Display library list and hit enter. You get the library list. Okay. Now in this library list, you do not see the libraries that you created before, right? Now we will fix that. I want you to turn to page number 91, which is slide number 24. Add library list entry command. Now this is the command that can let you add libraries that you have created and they're not in your library list. How do you make this happen? This is how you make this happen. Go back to the command prompt, hit F3 on the main menu or on the list, hit F3 and go to the main menu, everybody. Type the command, add library list entry, space. Type your first name and 1000. Remember, we created this library earlier today. Your first name and 1000. Press enter. It should come back and tell you that the following library was added to the list. Okay. Now press F9 and replace the last 0 with a 1 and hit enter, and it'll say the following library was also added. Press F9 and change the last 1 to a 2. The following library was also added. So we added 3 libraries, 1000, 1001, 1002. After that, try display library list. Display library list. DSPLIBL. Enter. Can you see? Saad 1000. I see your first name 1000, 1001, 1002. Okay, so this is how you can add a library to your library list. Okay, now let's learn how you can change the sequencing of it. To change the sequencing of this, you have 2 choices. One choice is to go to change library list command, which doesn't let you change too many libraries, only maybe a 1 or 2 libraries. But the better option is edit library list. So how about you press F3 on the green screen, go back to the command prompt and type this command, EDTLIBL. edit library list. Press F3, type EDT LIBL, edit library list, and hit enter. Oh, it doesn't matter which line I type. Either way, it will work. Okay. EDT LIBL. So here I can see my libraries. Hello there. How are you? Long time no see. Good to see you, man. Okay. So LIBL, the edit library list. Okay. Now I want Saad 1000 to be at the top of the list. Who is at the top of the list? Saad 1002. So what I will do is I'll go next to Saad 1000 and I'll enter 07. 07, because 7 is a number less than 10. Okay, so as long as you put a number less than 10 and hit enter, it will switch around. So 1000 goes at the top because that number was less than 10, and everybody else switch down. Okay, I now want 1001 to come above 1002. So I got to choose a number between 10 and 20. Pick a number between 10 and 20. 15. So let me put 15 next to Saad 1001. Hit enter. It switches. Okay. Now that I'm done switching the sequence, now let me press F3 to come out of this. Okay. Now I want to display the library list. So what is the command to display the library list? LIBL, DSP LIBL. Hit enter. And when you do that, you get to see the libraries in the same sequence that we resequenced them. Okay. Now turn to page 97. How you locate an object. Page 97. Okay. Go ahead and read the flow chart. It will remind you of your intro to programming class, right? It's a flow chart that you're following to see how it goes about locating an object. And on the PowerPoint, it should be slide number 28. The very first thing it does when you first ask for an object, it looks for if it's a qualified name. If it is not a qualified name, then it searches through your entire library list. If it is a qualified name, it checks to see if you are authorized to use that library. If you're authorized to use the library, then it checks to see if it can find an object with the proper type, because not all commands can run on all types. Once it finds an object with the proper type, it then checks to see if you have even authority on the object. Once it finds that you have the authority on the object, it then allows you to run the object. So it checks 2 levels of authority: library level and object level. Okay. Okay, so this is how it goes about locating an object. How does it goes about storing an object? Let's look at slide 31 or page 100. Slide 31 or page 100, okay? When you are trying to store an object, it first checks to see if you have provided a qualified name with the object. If no, then it checks to see if you have a current library. If you don't, then it goes to QGPL. If you do, then it goes into your current library. If you provided a qualified library name, then it checks to see if you have authority over that library. If you do, then it places an object in that library. If you don't, it gives you an error message. Anytime you see a library that starts with the letter Q, it means what? What does it mean to have a library that starts with the letter Q? It's system supplied. System provided library, okay? Now let's come to page number 101, where it talks about when you submit a job, when you submitted a job, so the job goes to the job queue. Okay, the job is submitted as a batch job by a user. System places the job on the job queue. What happens? The job queues end up in a subsystem. We talked about that in chapter number 1, subsystem. The job is scheduled into the correct batch subsystem. As the program runs, the program opens a spool file in the assigned output queue. What's a spool file? A spool file is a staging area where your object is kept temporarily. Okay, but spool file is a file. That means it's a permanent file. Until you delete it, it's there. And then you can go to the spool files, and then you can decide if you want to print the object or you want to delete the object. Okay, so spool file stays in your output queue. The spool file remains in the output queue unless the queue is assigned to a printer. If the print writer for the output queue started, the job prints when printer is idle. Either it just prints or doesn't print. Okay, now let me show you an example here. You probably may not have anything, but you can try this command. Go to your green screen and try this command. WRK, what does that stand for? Work. What will be short for spool? SPL. What will be short for file? F. Work spool file. WRK SPLF. Hit enter. Work spool file, WRK SPLF, enter. Okay, I have tons of spool files. You guys don't right now because you're not that far in the program to have dealt with spool files. Okay, but I just want to show you how spool file might look like. These are all the files. These are probably the programs I ran. And as a result of the running a program, a spool file was created. So now I have a choice of deleting. So I can just put force and hit enter. And remember, force for delete. What screen is this? List. List screen. Okay. Enter. It asks me, confirms those guys are deleted. Okay. Now here are some more spool files like this one. Okay. This is a QP job log. I want to go inside this job log. This was assigned. Okay. By the queue easy job log. That's a system queue. Now let me go inside it. How can I go inside it? Which option should I use to go and look inside? 5. Display. Display. Okay. Now send will actually send it to the printer. Okay. So here, when I go inside, it pretty much tells me information about my jobs. Which subsystem it entered, okay, and what requests were done, give some underlying details, what commands I did, I created a library and all of that stuff. It just keeps record of all these things that I did, okay. My entire thing was logged. Okay. Now let me exit out of here. Now let me do the second one, okay. Now that is 4 pages long, that one, okay. Now let me check this one. Option 5, it's only 1 page long. Okay, just pretty much tells me some of the other operations that happen. Okay. Now let me go to one of these programs like this one, number 4. Oh, no, F12, sorry, not number 4, number 5. Okay. So it tells me a little bit detail about this is a program, SP22 Proc 35. And when did this come into existence? On April 13 at 4:41 p.m. And then, oh, I should page down. And it tells me a little bit about my program. This is the program That's basically the program has the 3 lines of code in it. And some other information about if it generated any errors and stuff like that. And I can F3 out of here. So these are my spool files. Okay, now F3 to come out of it. Okay, you guys can also F3 to come out of your work spool files. Turn to page 102, which shows you this diagram. And which is slide number 39. This is where you see that the application program runs. When the application program runs, it sends an output data, which is sent to the output queue, which is held inside a spool file, which we just went and looked at. And then those spool files could either be deleted or could be sent to, with the help of the send option, to a print writer, which will send them to a physical printer. If the printer is ready, we'll print it. Okay, so for example, I can write an RPG program. RPG program is something that you will, RPG is 3rd and 4th semester, fall and spring next year. You'll be learning about spring 2024 and fall 2023 RPG programming language, which is used for printing reports. It's a report program generator. And when we say printing reports, it's not limited to just printing reports. If you go to a hospital and you see those labels all over, that's something an RPG can do. And a lot of these places use RPG for that kind of stuff too, printing labels of different sizes. Okay, so RPG could be in the back end of a web application, so, or a mobile app. For example, let me go to weather.com. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Okay, notice who is powering this website. So behind the scene, it's running IBM systems, IBM code. On the front end, it's web. If it's on an app, on the front end, it's an app. But in the middle, it's RPG code or some other IBM code, which is doing the communication with the data behind the scene. Okay. So that's what the spool file is. So you can read the summary, chapter summary, on slides 41 through 45, or on page number 105. Okay, any questions anybody has? Okay, how did it go? Good? You have better understanding than what you had before? Little by little, that's all it takes for you to get familiar with this stuff. What your instructor, Wendy Revelinsky, is asking you to do during today and next week, he wants you to take care of the assignment here and a quiz. Okay, so those are the two items he wants you to work on, and any past due items. And if any of the past due items are closed, please contact her. And next week, we will meet again. And next week, we'll be going over chapter number 4. Okay, so that's all from me today.